Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here, of course, at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. If you can tell, I am traveling here, so hailing all from Seattle, Washington. So hopefully you are having a good day, and we'll go ahead and see what's going on here. First things first, we want to look at some liquidation levels and kind of get some perspective on Bitcoin, of course, and just kind of see where we're at with liquidation, because I was originally expecting Bitcoin to go up and then down. Instead, it went down and then up, which is quite common within the range that we're working within. We are range bound right now too, so we want to discuss that. But let's go ahead and start with an opening liquidation kind of perspective here. And what we look at is, first of all, that lower level of 57,500. That there was a previous level there too. We kind of double bottomed there, so we want to be mindful that that area could get swept, or more importantly, we just take off and don't look back from here. So again, am I speculating we're going to see 57.5 once more? There's a lower probability of that, but it exists because there's a lot of liquidation there. Okay, so you just got to keep that in mind. But if we do kind of zoom out and then look a little closer, once again, 63,000 is normal, and 57.5 is that second highest amount. Okay, again, it's not that big, but it's still big. Don't get me wrong. $4.4 billion plus 3.8. I mean, we're looking at about a good close approximate 8 to 9 billion in liquidation at 57.5. So just know that's a very real potential area to get swept again if the price ends up diverting. We could see that level hit and potentially even further down, right? So am I a subscriber to Bitcoin dropping to 50,000 again? I don't know. Honestly, it's very difficult to say. You think that it probably got that out of its system, and hopefully it's all good, but let's go ahead and double check and see if there's anything kind of telling us otherwise. First of all, we have this descending broadening wedge pattern on the macro, which is generally favorable. We do still have some larger time Elliott wave potential for the one more leg up effectively, because we've had our pretty much our four waves here so far: our first, second, our expansive wave, and our fourth leg down. So again, at this point, if we look at the big picture, I think we have more propensity to go up. Now, is that going to happen at this exact moment? That's difficult to say, but let's look at the moving averages on the daily. We can recognize that we're still below all four, but we are starting to notice the 200-day SMA, the 20-day SMA, working its way down. And as per usual, when that works its way down, it'll typically work concurrent with a lot of trend lines, so we can maybe kind of pay attention to this. This is just kind of a abstract scenario here, but a lot of times when you kind of line up the candlestick bodies, or sorry, the closures rather, we can see that there's a line there kind of drawing out here. So we'll just go ahead and put this on here for later. I'll clean up the charts too, of course, post that on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, but this is just an area we kind of want to pay attention to. As per usual, just kind of make sure we understand that we're still in a descending trend, okay? And that 20-day SMA is kind of letting us know that. Okay, so now that we've established that and we look at the RSI, we can recognize that we're still under 50. MACD is converging, stochastic's still converging. MACD is trying but hasn't officially. So these are all things that are like really close to potential greatness, but nothing quite there yet. And you got to recognize Bitcoin's been really good about faking us out too. So the simple way to understand is that until we get more confirming factors, we shouldn't be blindly bullish on Bitcoin. But once more, we are in a range, and we got to understand that. So let's go ahead and do this here, so you can kind of see a little bit more accurately what's going on. If we take a look here, you can see this again, double bottom here. Let's go ahead and put it in yellow just so you can kind of see. And then of course, if we kind of pair that up here, we can see a pretty obvious little area too where the price action is not willing to close above. Okay, so if we go with candlestick closures, you can see this little tight range between 58,000 even and 61.3. All right, until we break free from that range, it's generally unfavorable to consider trading at least to the upside or downside. Now, I'm more so referring to a long-term hold, not necessarily day trading, because right now at this point, based on the pattern that we're seeing here so far, it would make sense for Bitcoin to continue higher and retest that 61K mark. Okay, that's generally how range-bound trading works. But again, it's not definitive. It's not an exact science. It's just the concept. Once a range is established, you can buy and sell at those levels. Having said that, let's look at the 4-hour time frame and clarify a couple things here. We're still under 50 on the RSI, but we're getting closer to breaking free from that. We also have a stochastic swing to the upside, and MACD is trying to converge. So this is still very premature. That I wouldn't say there's anything letting us know that we're in good shape here, because we're below all four moving averages too. And that's just not really a great thing to be to trade into. Okay, trading into a resistance doesn't make a ton of sense. And I mentioned yesterday too in our updated trade alerts before, after analyzing Bitcoin, the concept, and you see this little X on the chart here, the whole point of me putting that there was to essentially consider short selling at that level. Okay, so the price was supposed to bounce up here, reject off at 59.5. While it's doing that right now, and it might be a good opportunity at this point, the consideration was to short at 59.5 if we got a closure below that. Well, the candlestick closed below that for sure, but the price continued to run. It didn't make sense to catch a falling knife. So at this point, I absolutely would recommend waiting for today's candlestick to close. We get a closure below 59.5 roughly at that 0.382 fib level. That might be worth considering a sell. And the main reason why is just because, again, we haven't broken bullish. We need to be over 60K at the very least, this 0.5 fib level, to have any confidence, because the 4-hour time frame is telling us there's a lot of transitionary effects here letting us know that the price is more likely to go down than up. And it's just the simple reality of it. If we take a look quickly at the Ichimoku cloud, this will probably confirm as well. And that's another reason why I was planning to take a short at that 59.5, that 0.382 fib level, is because we're still below the cloud, right? Conversion line and the baseline are intersecting now, so that tells us there's a potential shift in momentum. And then, of course, the lagging spans intersecting with the price action. So the easy way to understand it is that that was a missed opportunity, but was it really a missed opportunity? You would have only gotten maybe 0.5 to 2% profit on that. It really doesn't make a ton of sense. The return on investment is too tight, right? At this point, hypothetically, today closes around the same area. We might have confirming factors, but I'm going to want to take another look again later to make sure. All right. So generally, I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin twice a day, usually in the morning and then once, just before or as the candlestick closes for the daily. If you're curious what time that is, it's usually 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 0 GMT, so you can kind of pay attention to that. But the concept is to make sure we just wait for confirmation. Again, just depends on where you're at. If you're a swing trader, you got to kind of wait. Like, for example, in our community here, we like to wait for confirmation, and we got some nice profit from ETH yesterday, 33%, SUI 25%. One's a short, one's a long, and then of course prior to that, their protocol long at 32, and then I think we had there was Bitcoin, there we go, yeah, Bitcoin, and of course Aave as well. So we've been shorting and taking longs a lot in the market, but a lot of these trades are coming from just waiting, okay? And if we do take a look here at my day trades as well, Solana, Cardano, Chainlink, these ones are all firing pretty well here as well in just 2 to 3 hours. So we have what you want there essentially with the day trades and the swing trades, but the whole concept here is if you're swing trading, which I prefer to do myself, the day trades I just shared with you is my trading bot that kind of does that for me based on the strategy that I have. I prefer to wait for confirmation, and I think waiting today to see where the candle closes is an important thing. So those are my 2 cents. What are yours? Why don't you comment below, let us know, and obviously if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below. Be sure if you are part of our community, we have a lot of new members coming over yesterday. You read through our signals guide, make sure you know kind of how the signals are structured, and you have to read through this whole entirely, have some benefit there. We also have trade alerts that you can enable specific coins where you kind of get notified on coins that I like. But more importantly, watch the university videos, learn what you can, and just be more self-sufficient and develop a good risk tolerance. That's all there is to it. So I do appreciate you all watching, and future reference, I'll be traveling for the next week. So if you see slightly less content, that's just because I'm trying to make everything work. But the truth is, this is a funky market right now, so less is more, okay? Just remember that. It's okay to trade less and to not feel like you're missing out on anything, because you really aren't. All right, thanks again for your time, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.